Why is the land left direct? No matter why. Why is the land before the deed? No matter why. Why? All the common people just like you and me. Why? All the common people we do all the dumb things. Why? Hello, boys and girls. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter Y. Why? Because we like you. Why is the land left direct? No matter why. Why is the land before the deed? No matter why. Why? All the common people just like you and me. Why? All the common people we do all the dumb things. Why? One more time. Why is the letter left direct? No matter why. Why is the letter before the deed? No matter why. Why? All the common people just like you and me. Why? All the common people we do all the dumb things. Why?
Hey, how you doing? I'm Doug Barton, amateur cryptozoologist, and you're watching Why.
Hey, I'm Frank Horowitz, and I have a great episode planned for you Whitman Hanson Panthers here today. It's all about the Bigfoot, the Hockomock Swamp, and the gang of creatures that lives out there. I actually have some hard evidence. I have interviews with the locals who live right on the swamp, and I actually have a man who has seen Bigfoot himself, so stay tuned.
What I'd also like to add to that, Frankie, is we're bringing in Larry the Fearless, my paranormal pooch.
Love him.
Yeah, he's been on expeditions with me and Frankie before. He's fleshed out Thunderbirds. I don't know if it's the swamp gas, people saucing, but people are seeing some things in the Hockomock, if you know what I mean.
True.
All right. And I want to find out why.
Hey, so stay tuned. It's going to be a great episode. I know you'll love it. Why?
The Hockomock Swamp, better known as the heart of the Bridgewater Triangle. Those who live within its points knows what lurks within it. Many have given descriptions of the gang of creatures that live in the swamp. Some have dared to explore for the answers it holds, yet still to this day have nothing more than a mere glimpse of a variety of creatures that range from Sasquatch, the dreaded Loch Ness Monster, and yes, folks, a bird with a 20-foot wingspan, the mighty Thunderbird. They all reside in one place. Today, the Y team will venture out and search for clues and attempt to solve one of New England's most notorious lures. So stay tuned as we ask, why?
How you doing? This is Doug Barton on Why, and I'm here at Joe DeAndre's house, who is the paranormal investigation expedition team leader. And he, first of all, I'd love to thank you for letting us into your home, Joe.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's okay.
And I understand you're going to brief us on the Bridgewater Triangle this.
Yes,
this
I'll
afternoon.
try.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you give us a brief description of what the triangle is? Because a lot of people don't know what the Bridgewater Triangle actually is.
Yeah, that's true. Most people I speak to have never heard of it, nor of the Hockomock Swamp. Bridgewater Triangle is a 200 square mile area, borders of Abington, Rehoboth, and East Freetown. And inside the Bridgewater Triangle is the most dangerous, mysterious place called the Hockomock Swamp. And the Hockomock Swamp is a Native American Indian name. It means place where spirits dwell. And some people also think it means devil. Now, the swamp is the most cursed and strangest place of all. It's said to be very dangerous. According to tradition, legend, the Indians have practiced witchcraft and done all kinds of strange things in there. And so therefore, it is said and known by many people who know about the swamp that many who have entered deep in there have never returned.
I've heard such tales, and I've also heard and I've read that you saw a creature that dwells in the swamp.
Yes, I have not seen anything paranormal in the swamp, but I saw a creature known as Sasquatch in a wooded area in Bridgewater in the winter of '78. And I only saw it from the waist up, and I'll never forget it for as long as I live. As I hate winter, but it was a good day, and I figured, well, what the heck, go for a walk. And this guy, this Indian guy was telling me about this Sasquatch creature all the time. I was like, I don't know, I don't think it ever hangs around here. I didn't even know about the swamps.
Right.
So you know, me and this other guy, not the Indian guy, me and this other guy decided to go for a walk over there. And we walked down a dirt road, and we stood there with our backs to the pond. And all of a sudden, something told me to turn around and look. And I said, but why? And so I turned around and looked. The voice said, and you turn around and you will see. Sure enough, I turned around and I couldn't believe what I saw.
And could you describe exactly what you saw?
Yes, it was a tall creature with all long dark brown hair all over its body, but I only saw it from the waist up, and it was walking down a hill about 200 feet across from the pond. And I just looked at it like, what? You know, I mean, come on.
Disbelief, right?
Right, because I heard a lot of stories about the place, about how this Indian guy's uncle was hunting and shot something that looked like a bear, and then all of a sudden he heard a half animal, half human cry of pain, and they went to the spot and found some blood on some leaves. But that was it. No, other people have claimed to see what looked like Sasquatch, but they called it a bear. So I'm looking at this thing like, what? I just kept staring at it. I'm like, okay, all right. I say, so I reached over to touch the guy, and he was, looking the other way, smoking his pipe, and I was like, what the heck? And so I looked again, and I saw the head this time. I said, oh my God. So I grabbed him without being violent, and I'm not a violent person. Yeah. And I said, Wayne, will you look? And so finally, when we both turned around, it was gone. But I know what it was. I've seen enough pictures and movies about it. It was the Sasquatch creature.
Did you see its face, Joe?
No. But the shape of the head and everything was so big, it scared me. And the way it walked like real slow, like Frankenstein. So I know that it really does exist.
Okay, now what other characteristics does it have? Because typically, in these sightings, a real foul odor is usually...
Would you believe that? I'll have to...
For all you viewers, I'm sorry about that. Joe had to take another call. There's another paranormal investigation going on, apparently. Joe had to take the call. We're sorry. Joe, like I was saying, typically with these sightings, there's usually a foul odor, like a rotting animal or garbage type smell. Did it smell? Was there any kind of odor in the air?
No, I didn't get to smell anything. My nose don't smell that much anyway, and besides 200 feet away, so I wasn't going to really smell anything, So I can't say I smelled anything. I didn't make any sound. But we went there another time. We went there, let's see, with this other guy, Mike. He's one of my expedition members. And something very strange happened that day. Very strange. We were only there for an hour. But I'll never forget, this time, instead of just standing there at that area, we walked around continuously on the dirt road to another spot on the right side of the pond. And we went there to go camping. We were just there, look around, see if we'd see or hear anything. Oh, it's a good thing we were there. We decided to get a little campfire going. So I sat there and he had them going. And Mike and Wayne went to go get some firewood. So I felt guilty. Geez, I want to help too. So Mike had his rifle with him, 22 semi-automatic, and Wayne had his flashlight, and I had my machete. That's all I had with me, my machete. So I got up, walked to the the woods next to me, and started picking up sticks. It was in the dark and everything, and I started one by one, and as I think I was like maybe I was like 20 feet, 30 at the most into the woods at the most. And I heard a horrible sound like I never heard in my life. It sounded like it wanted to, like that says over there. It says over there in that frame. It says, it came from the earth, it sounded evil and hungry. Well, that's what it sounded like, evil and hungry. I never heard anything so scary in my life. It was very, very scary. And so, I've heard animals on TV, but the best I could explain how it sounded like, you ever heard these monster movies?
Absolutely.
That doesn't even come close to the horror.
Really?
I froze where I was, like, what the heck?
A horrible rendition of a horror movie? You mean
made any horror movie look
blood-curdling? Was it like a woman's cry, or?
Oh, it was like something horrible and wild that wanted to tear me apart.
Wow.
It didn't want me there, and it was there, and it was watching us, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we would never know if I didn't go out for that firewood. So I put that wood in my left hand, picked up the last piece, and I pulled out my machete real quick. I said,
yeah.
well, it's better than nothing, you know?
I wouldn't go out like that either. I'd pick up a machete.
So I started backing up.
Yep.
Well, it was like Mike, Joe, you know, he said, what the hell was that? And I said, I don't know, but I says, I think we better get out of here.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, yeah, I'm going to leave right now. Oh, he couldn't wait to leave. And so
scary.
I said, we're going to put this fire out right now, first of all. And then Mike says, I only got one bullet in this gun.
Oh,
Please help
good
me.
old Mike.
Oh, yeah. So the other guy was already walking down the trail. I said, hey, where you going? He goes, I'm out of here. And Mike wanted to stay there. I says, well, you can stay there if you want, but this fire goes out, and we'll all leave here together. I said, we don't want to be sitting down. Wait, stay here all night? What's the matter with you? Come on. So we put the fire out, and we all left. We walked up the path. Okay, make a long story short.
Yep.
Nothing happened. We did hear some funny sounds on the path, but nothing bothered us. But again, that proves that that thing is there.
You believe that's the same creature that made that blood-curdling scream?
I believe it, yeah. And it
Really?
didn't want us there. Now, according to all the creatures that have been seen in the triangle, they don't really bother anybody.
Could you list the various creatures that have been seen? Because I read about some of the sightings, but what are the actual things that are being claimed to see mostly?
I'll try to remember them all. Okay, there's the Sasquatch creature that I just explained with long dark brown hair.
Yes.
It's said to be between 7 to 8 feet tall. And then there's the big, huge black snake, which is supposed to be black and white around as a stovepipe.
Thick as a stovepipe. I was told that. Seen by the CC workers?
Yeah, CCC workers on King Philip Street. And, which is in Rainham.
Yeah.
And then I think that's seen every like 7 years. And then
Yeah, that's odd that it would appear every 7 years, don't
very
you think?
strange, yeah.
I've actually heard different accounts from other people. They don't agree to be on camera about it, but they claim to have seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't want to see it.
No, it looks like that thing could like eat a dog, being that size.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. So, you know, it is hard to believe that something like that would exist on him. This is not the Amazon.
Right.
But yet these creatures, when I tell people what's seen, they sound like something from the Amazon. Then there's this big black, big black dog. Somebody called me up one time and said that they actually shot at it.
In Abington.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. The big.
I was briefed on that. That was actually in Abington. That's the tip of the triangle?
Yeah, at the very top.
Yeah.
And now this big black dog with red eyes said to, I don't know, well, it's very mysterious. Let's just put it that way, because I think someone told me that they saw it crossing some highway, and yet the lights went through it like it was a ghost.
Yeah. Throughout history, black dogs have been found, been seen. These phantom dogs that people claim to have seen. Now, do you believe that the triangle itself could be a paranormal window of some sort, maybe a dimension, or just a crazy place to live? You know, what do you think's going on?
Well, the Bridgewater Triangle has been cursed by the Native American Indians. There's a very powerful curse on it. I spoke to a Native American Indian chief when I went to a powwow, and I've spoke to another one too. And I spoke to, I like to talk to more of them to see what they say. And he said his people have cursed the area because the white man stole this land, mistreated their people. Okay. I said, but why just this triangle area? Why not the whole country? They stole the whole country from the poor Indians.
Right.
And he said it was a very special curse because,
Is there a burial ground out there too? Not to interrupt you, Joe.
I know, a burial ground. Well, I mean, there are burial grounds in the swamps, yeah.
Yeah.
Most Indians won't go in the swamps. So when I was talking to some Indians, when I told them about what I do, most of them looked at me kind of funny, like, I try to get a book on Sasquatch from the Indians. Haven't found one yet.
Oh, I'm sure they have some tales to tell.
Yeah, well,
Now, do you believe that this... I didn't mean to interrupt you. Could this be do you think it's an Algonquin curse? Do you think that's why it's haunted out there?
Yeah, because...
And do you believe that Bigfoot could possibly be part of the curse, or do you think that he just is a creature that may exist out there?
Well, I've heard...
It's tough to say.
I hope I'm correct in what I'm saying, but I think I remember Chief saying that there's something strange about the creature, like if somebody sees it, it's supposed to mean something. Excuse my ignorance, but, it's... I don't want to say anything I'm not sure of. All I know is that these creatures, have never been caught. None of them. Oh, I forgot to mention the Black Panther, too.
The Phantom Panthers?
Yeah, Phantom. Also, it's mostly attracted to streets. They're a huge black prehistoric-looking bird. I
The,
almost forgot
the
about that.
Thunderbird, I was
Yeah,
told.
that's right. Yeah.
A lot of the locals have told me. I've actually interviewed a couple people
Yeah.
who won't agree to be on camera either, but they've seen the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Now, what's your take on this? Why is it only being seen in this area? You think it's?
I don't know. It's part of the gang of creatures that are here. You know, what can I say? I mean, there's this cop who claimed to have seen this bird when he's coming home from work, and he said it was, let's say, 6 foot tall with a 12-foot wingspan. And I don't know why, but he took a shot at it for some reason.
That's one big bird.
Yeah, a huge bird. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open-minded, of course. I'm a paranormal investigation.
Well, I'm an amateur cryptozoologist. That's why I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, don't blame me.
Once again, I thank you for being in your home.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
What's up? This is Frank Horowitz, and you've been watching Why. Pretty incredible story, huh? What do you think? Bigfoots, giant snakes, birds with 12-foot wingspans? Truly incredible. Well, stay tuned, all you Why viewers. We have This Story Continues. Let's get to the bottom of this. You're watching Why.
How you doing? This is Doug Barton, and you're watching Why. I'm here with the Paranormal Investigation Organization Vice President, Richard Fields. And nice to meet you, Richard.
Nice to meet you too.
And I'm glad to have you speak here with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
And what made you the vice president? Why did Joe choose you to be the vice president of your organization, do you believe?
Well, I think Joe and myself, we have a lot in common. Joe's seen Bigfoot. I want to have my shot. I want to have my shot. Plus all the research I've done for the last 26 years on that. Plus talking to various people that have seen him. Plus information that I picked up along the way myself. That's how I got involved.
Very interesting. I'm also intrigued with that being a cryptozoologist, but I noticed that Joe refers to it as Sasquatch and you call it Bigfoot. What's the difference?
Well, the Indians used to call Bigfoot Sasquatch.
Okay.
I call him Bigfoot because of what happened to him a long time ago, when the first sighting started happening. The construction work is made of plaster of the foot, and that's how the origin of Bigfoot happened. So they call it Bigfoot. The Native Americans call him Sasquatch.
Now, where was the first sighting of this?
Well, this was the first sighting.
Other than the Indians, of course.
Well, the most important ones to date, it happened in 1924. There were two separate occasions. One was, I can't think of it, Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens was number one. And also, Fred Osterman claims to be carried off by one to a cave where all Bigfoot were, but he was in total darkness. Now, as far as Mount St. Helens, you know what happened? That they had one had shot a Bigfoot, and the Bigfoot fell off into the rapids down below. That night, Bigfoot attacked a whole bunch of them. Attacked the log cabin, threw rocks, tried to break in, but they couldn't do it. And that started. Those were two famous incidents that happened in 1924.
So you believe that the creature actually was out to harm these people, or
I think it's more to scare them off.
to scare them off? Yeah.
Because there's been no proof in history about Bigfoot that he's ever killed anybody. And,
Yep.
and that's the thing that you got to keep in mind. However, our dear Russian friends have a Bigfoot.
I was told I was told
No, they have a Bigfoot.
the Russians have Bigfoot.
They have a Bigfoot, and they've been trying to impregnate 5 women from this. They won't let no outside interference tell them what to do. They want to keep all the secrets to themselves.
Now, half Russian, half Bigfoot. They're trying to.
They're trying to.
Do you think their genes place in these, or they
They're
just let them have that?
Well, they believe that he's a humanoid,
Yeah.
and they believe that they can do it. And they've been trying for, I don't know how long they've been trying for, but they've been, all these women that they're going through trying to impregnate one, at least see what's going to happen.
That's intriguing. I never heard that one.
Yes.
But that's amazing.
Oh yes.
Now, what different characteristics are there of Bigfoot? Are there different colors? Different?
Yes, there are some that are white. There are some that are brown. Some that are black. Some have fangs. Some have regular teeth. Some, the most obvious factor, they have no neck.
Right.
They have no neck. They've been known to have a cone head. If you want to be technical on the matter, I just use that as a description.
Yeah.
They themselves, it's hard to say that maybe they were invited into a dimension, and maybe they have access in and out. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's a question mark, but it makes a lot of sense.
Hence the triangle. Some people believe that that's a paranormal dimension.
Yes,
so
I would say yes.
I was looking at your uniform, and I see that you have triangles on there. Is this a uniform that you guys wear?
Well,
or?
we originally had this organization on the patch,
Right.
but we dispatched it. I keep this on here as a reminder to me, and Joe will keep it as a reminder to him.
Well, you'll never forget, obviously. I know Joe won't.
No, Joe has the advantage.
Yes.
He has the advantage of everything. He's been in the swamps, I haven't. He's been trying to get me in there.
Yeah.
And we're planning to do it.
Now, would you go in the swamp armed or unarmed? If
I would I would go in there armed.
yes.
Because,
Now, would you harm the beast if you if you had to?
My greatest goal is to communicate.
To communicate with it.
Yes, and I believe I can do it.
And how would you initiate that?
By Indian Sign Language.
Indian sign, because they believe it's.
Yes.
Some believe it's an Algonquin curse. Is that what you believe? Do you believe he's actually? Do you believe the Native Indians have actually communicated with Sasquatch?
I think they have in their way.
Yeah.
I think they have in their way. And as for being white people, they're not going to tell you.
Right.
They're not going to tell you. Bigfoot himself, herself, because there's two sexes.
Right.
But there was all I can say on that retrospect is you've got to dig in deep. And you've got to understand what you're up against.
Yeah.
Now, he has not been known to hurt anybody. In fact, I heard stories that he actually helped someone that was drowning. And I heard that. I said, well, this is good. This is good.
Actually, yes. I've heard a story where he carried someone to safety
Yes.
who was drowning.
And also I heard another story too. Unfortunately, the Minnesota Iceman, after what he went after a woman hunter, and he forced himself on her. I'm not going to go into detail, but
The Minnesota Iceman forced himself on the woman.
yes.
You can only imagine the details. That must have been horrific.
It was in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, for the woman herself
Oh, absolutely.
to see this happening
Yeah.
and not being able to do anything.
What could you do? Well, this creature must have been enormous.
Yes. Most creatures that I have known or heard of, from 8 feet tall to 10 feet tall. The biggest track I know of is 24 inches long. And that's what you call a very big foot.
Absolutely. It's a huge foot.
Yes, exactly. And there's no question about it. There's no question about it.
Okay, I want to thank you again, and
All right.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
I want to thank all you viewers on Channel 9. You're watching Why. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Frank Horowitz. You're watching Why. I'm here today with Doug Barton, right in the heart of the Hockomock Swamp. As you can see behind me is a stretch of woods where there's actually been some Bigfoot sightings over the years. So we're going to talk to some of the locals and see if they can point us in the best direction where we can get some actual footage for you, the Why viewers. So stay tuned. You're watching Why. Hey, what's going on? This is Horowitz and you're watching Why. I'm here with Matt, who is a local who actually lives right in the triangle here. So Man, I heard, I was speaking with you off camera, you know what I mean? I know you were a little reluctant to come on camera because some of these stories, people they're very superstitious about it, believing, you know, if they talk about it a lot, maybe bad things will happen. So you were mentioning that you grew up with your mother telling you stories about the triangle?
Yeah, she tells me a lot of stories about the Bridgewater Triangle, the swamp area over here.
Right.
Tells a lot of stories about
Very creepy looking, I must say, too.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it? Right.
And then she tells me about the Bigfoot monster that people tell rumors about. And
Notorious.
And they, you know, they tell a lot of stories, and I'd like to figure out a little bit more about it.
Now, have you yourself ever heard anything or
I
had
have.
any visual sightings of any of these events that are happening in the triangle?
People tell me a lot that there's, you know, the Bigfoot monster and all that over here, and this is mainly where it is, here, all the way
Right.
back in the deep wooded swamp area. And my mother's told me the stories about this, and I had rumors, people telling my mother, and it's passed along over the years.
Beautiful. Hey, this is Horowitz, local named Matt. You know what I mean? We're going to go talk to some more locals, maybe go right into the swamp ourselves, so stay tuned. You're watching Y. Hey, all you Y viewers, this is Doug Barton, and I'm here with a local John.
Toscas, yes.
Nice to meet you. What do you know about the triangle, sir?
Just stories I heard when I was growing up about the Hockomock Swamps, the Bridgewater Triangle. One guy over here on 106 claimed one time he saw Bigfoot out there. Just the old typical stuff you hear.
Yeah.
You know, basically rumors maybe. I don't know. I've never seen anything myself.
You've never seen anything yourself?
No.
Your grandmother never spun any yarns about Bigfoot?
No, yarns.
I've heard a lot of stories from the locals around here. Some people talk about the Thunderbird. You heard about the Thunderbird?
No, not familiar with the Thunderbird.
So all you know is about the Bigfoot, basically?
One guy claiming to see Bigfoot and
Yeah.
people getting lost in the swamps and never coming. I mean,
Yeah.
typical camping stories
Yeah.
that kids will tell, you know what I mean?
All right, interesting stuff. Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you for watching Y. Hey, what do you think, all you Yaholics? Pretty interesting stuff, you know? We're right here in the heart of the triangle, so, you know, what do you think, Doug, about tonight's events? I think I've heard enough where I want to know for myself. I want to get my paranormal pooch, Larry the Fearless, into the swamp, and I want to find out why. All right, Frankie, this is where most of the sightings have been. A lot of sightings of the creature have been out here. I'm looking for fecal matter, mucous membrane, and what is that? Do you have some? That's not human. It has that musky smell. That means we're on the trail right now, Doug Barton. What's that, Frank? Larry, get him! Wow, we barely made it out of there with our lives. Unfortunately, Larry took the brunt of it. He went after Bigfoot. He shook him by the neck. He's got some lacerations here in his ribs. He's basically just really, really hurt. And it's sad that it had to happen, and I hope that he snaps back. But I think we have enough concrete evidence where this thing exists. We got it on video, for Christ's sakes. And when that bio bag comes back from the lab with the hair in it, I'm sure it's going to show that it's from a Yeti. What do you think, Frank? What I could say to you about Y viewers is, for the love of God, stay out of the swamp. I mean, there is a whole gang of creatures that lives out there. Yeah. You've only seen Bigfoot. Truly be prepared if you're going to go in there. It is no joke. You can see what it did to our paranormal pooch, Larry. It tore him up. It's absolutely a horrific creature, and I disagree with Richard Fields. I will harm the thing if I see it, because look what it did to my dog, all right? This thing's nothing to play with. You kids do not go out there. The Hockomock is not a place for children. I don't advise anybody go out there. Well, I'd like to say, I'd like to thank Joseph DeAndre and Richard Fields for inviting us into their home and giving us that great interview. And I'd like to thank you Y viewers, and for Doug Barton, Frank Horowitz, you've been watching Y. Thank you. It's all right, Larry. It's all right, boy.